Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and I was always told how to voice for radio. So today, I want to show you a new special energy card. A very new special energy card, which is making a mockery of something I've said over and over and over again. There's no advantage to being a colorless Pokemon. Well, now there is, ladies and gentlemen. I was wrong, and I am delighted. Although, let's be clear, I wasn't actually wrong when I said it. I am now wrong, and again, could not be happier. Now, of course, our translation does come from the lovely Antoine Boulet here. Why would it not? And the really cool thing here is... Oh, I said to tell you what it's called, shouldn't I? I haven't given you a name of the card yet. It's called Powerful Colorless Energy. And what's really cool here is we've been getting those special energies. Things like Speed Lightning Energy, draw 2 cards when you attach it to a Lightning Pokemon. Or Horror Psychic Energy, when it's attached to a Psychic Pokemon and they get damaged by an attack, you put 2 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. We did this previously. And Lightning Pokemon got Flash Energy. And Fighting Pokemon got Strong Energy. But Colorless Pokemon were left out. Colorless Pokemon are finally getting their own special energy. And it is their own special energy. This isn't like Triple Acceleration Energy. That's not for Colorless Pokemon. That's for any evolved Pokemon. It's not Twin Energy. Twin Energy isn't for colorless Pokemon. That's for any non-GX, non-V Pokemon. This is actually for colorless Pokemon. Yay! What does it do? It's Strong Energy. It is Strong Energy for colorless Pokemon. Now, it works as a colorless energy on any Pokemon. It doesn't have to be attached to a colorless Pokemon. But when it is attached to a colorless Pokemon, you do 20 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. It is very literally Strong Energy for colorless Pokemon. And here's the thing. Strong Energy was amazing. Strong Energy was phenomenal. Strong Energy was an absolute must-play in every fighting deck until it rotated. For the entire time Strong Energy was out, Strong Energy was basically a 4 of in every fighting deck, unless you really needed basic energy, and there were a few decks that did. This was an absolute must-play. But here's the thing. Now that I've told you over and over again, this is just Strong Energy, let me say this isn't Strong Energy. Because Strong Energy went on Fighting Pokemon, and Fighting Pokemon hit for weakness. Which means in a lot of matchups, I mean, the classic example was Buzzwole, right? And Buzzwole was around in a format where the best Pokemon was Zoroark. And Buzzwole hit Zoroark for weakness. We could also have said Lycanroc. Lycanroc hit Zoroark for weakness. And the problem was, for Zoroark players, it wasn't actually an extra 20 damage. It was an extra 40 damage. Now, it was an extra 20 damage against everyone else, but there were enough games where you would actually be hitting an extra 40 here. That's not happening with Powerful Colorless Energy. Powerful Colorless Energy is only ever going to be an extra 20 damage. Because you're never hitting for weakness. Because colorless Pokemon don't hit for weakness. Does that mean it's going to be bad? No. This is a phenomenal card. But as with every card, it's going to depend on the partners. Now, one of the cheeky partners for me, and I do think this is an exceptionally cheeky partner, Cinccino. I think this turns Cinccino into a genuinely viable, legitimate attacker, and that makes me kind of delighted. Now, to remind you, Cinccino is generally played for the ability that lets you discard a card from your hand and then draw 2 cards from your deck. It's phenomenal, everybody loves it. Now, it's got an attack for 1 colorless energy that does 40 damage and attaches a basic energy from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. But as energy acceleration, that's kind of weak, right? Because you're attaching 1 energy to Cinccino to accelerate 1 energy to your bench. Why not just put that 1 energy on your bench Pokemon in the first place? And the 40 damage was kind of negligible. It was funny when you could catch a Ditto Prism Star in the active, still is, because it hasn't rotated yet, though it will soon. but generally speaking, you're just not getting a KO with this. It is chip damage. And maybe it helps you get the numbers rolling later on, but unlikely to. The difference now becomes you're doing 60 damage. And 60 damage gets evolving Pokemon. Things like Inkay, for argument's sake, will go down here. It's just an example of a 60 HP Pokemon. There's plenty more of them out there. But with a Vitality Band, you're then hitting 70 damage. And that's Jirachi territory. That's Galarian Zigzagoon territory. There are some evolving Pokemon that have more than 70 HP, but they are absolutely in the minority here. And that's what's so beautiful. Now Cinccino's getting KOs. Cinccino is actually taking things down, and that's ridiculous. Like, actually ridiculous. But in a fantastic, brilliant, awesome way, and I could not be happier. Now, one ruling that I know a lot of you already know, but I also know that I get a lot about cards like this, so I want to deal with it now. It only adds damage when you do damage. So if we take something like the Snorlax that just came around in Rebel Clash, 1 colorless energy, draw 2 cards. This does not let Snorlax do 20 damage and draw 2 cards. You can only add damage to an attack which is already doing damage. I know a lot of you already knew that ruling, but every time a card like this comes out, I always get a bunch of messages from newer players asking about it, which is fine. We all need to learn. We're all new sometime. So I figured, deal with it in the video, and then people know. What others? How about Double V? And look, I'm not going to go through every possible partner in this video. That would be literally impossible. I just want to point out a couple that occurred to me. Double V. Revenge Blast, 3 colorless energy, 120 damage, plus 30 more for each prize card your opponent has taken. Now clearly here the ideal situation is you drop a reset stamp, you put your opponent down to a 1-card hand because they've taken 5 prizes, you do 270 damage. And 270 damage is nice, but there are some notable Pokemon like, for instance, ADP, Arceus, Niagara and Palkia, that will not be KO'd by this until you use powerful colorless energy. And with stuff like Welder, I mean, it's a colorless Pokemon, right? So you Welder onto it, then you attach powerful colorless energy, now you're hitting 290 rather than 270, and that's going to get some key KOs. Something like Snorlax Vmax, I believe, becomes an awful lot better with this particular card. Snorlax Vmax for free energy does, well, okay, so what it does is 30 damage for each of your bench Pokemon plus 60 damage base. So 5 bench Pokemon, 210 damage. 230 with this. Although it stacks, so 2 of these 250, 3 of these 270, etc. But going from 210 to 230 is phenomenal. Because of Zacian, which has 220 HP. Now all of a sudden you're getting a key KO. And that's literally my entire point here with powerful colorless energy. Yes, also powerful energy and strong energy. I love their keyboard and naming conventions. There's going to be plenty of times you just do an extra 20 damage and it's not that impactful. But there's also going to be plenty of times this gets a KO. Now all of a sudden Snorlax is KOing Zacian when it wouldn't have been otherwise. Cinccino is KOing Victini when it wouldn't have been otherwise. And also a card we looked at just earlier today, Salamence Vmax, 1 colorless energy, and it does 40 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. You know what's really cool here? Doing 60 to the active and 40 to one of your opponent's bench. I've already told you that 60 damage gets a bunch of KOs that 40 doesn't. So now all of a sudden you're getting a KO on the active while hitting 40 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And I could keep going with this all day. We could just keep going and going and going with these examples. Because the fact of the matter is, there are a lot of colorless Pokemon out there. Some of them, like Cinccino, see a bunch of play at the moment, though largely in a supporting role. Some of them don't see a lot of play, but maybe they will. Maybe this is going to be what it takes for a bunch of those colorless Pokemon to get over the hump, as it were. I think this is a 5 Wossie card. The only way this doesn't end up being a really good, really impactful card is if there's no good colorless Pokemon to play this with. But even then, that's not it being a bad card, that's having the wrong metagame. I understand and I appreciate and I admit that being colorless Pokemon means you're not hitting anything for weakness, which does slightly diminish the effectiveness of the card. But make no mistake about it, if you're playing a colorless deck, or you've got colorless Pokemon you really like, this is something you need to start having a really, really serious think about. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this card, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, me nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are pretty gosh darned awesome nonetheless. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.